Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And the content tonight is going to put a smile on your face. Another federal judge has struck down constitutional restrictions on 18 to 20-year-olds because they are unconstitutional, applying to the Second Amendment. This is not the first time we've seen this, and it's more evidence in the road towards the SCOTUS. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about this one, because comments help this content go further. And if you are new or you're a returning viewer, please consider hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, and making sure you turn the notification bell on. We need as many of you as we can to get into the ranks with us, to share this information, and then pass the blessing of the Second Amendment along to the next generation. And thank you so much in advance for your consideration. And the content today is brought to you by SDI. Now, I know a lot of you out there like to upgrade and modify your own guns. And if you're looking to turn a hobby that you love into a career, Sonoran Desert Institute can help. The online programs cover everything from gunsmithing to ballistics, woodworking and finishes, shooting sports management, and more, plus all the tools and materials are shipped directly to your door. There's never been a better time to turn that hobby into a career, so what are you waiting for? There's a link in the description box below, and thank you so much to SDI for making this content possible. Now, my brothers and sisters, one of the things that we focus on so hard on this channel, twice a day, it's been a consistent theme the entire time, is we're going to pass the blessing on of the Second Amendment to the next generation by fighting day in and day out with the sharing of videos, all the way to supporting lawsuits, to getting the rulings that we need, because the judiciary has changed dramatically from the top all the way down. Now, Trump had a big part in that. There was a lot of other pieces, but the important piece here is the judges are ruling according to the Bruin Decision, which came down last year. Check this out, because this is a massive piece. Federal judge in Virginia rules 18 to 20-year-olds cannot be prohibited from buying handguns. Now, this is not the first time we've seen this. We've seen this in several other states. There have been several other decisions. Now, the huge piece about this is, as all these decisions from different circuit courts and different regions and different districts all go up, they're going to eventually get to the top, where the SCOTUS will either decide to accept these or get involved and put a national standard on it. Because you're 18 to 20 years old, you are still an adult. You can do everything else. We say it all the time on this channel. You can vote, you can go to war, you can enter contracts, you can get married, you can own property. All the things that you have the rights to do when you are 18, except that pesky Second Amendment. That's called a disparity. There's something wrong. The courts will rectify this. Let's get going and show you what happened. This happened a couple hours ago. A federal judge in Virginia invalidated a set of federal restrictions that prohibit people under the age of 21 years old from purchasing a handgun from federally licensed firearm dealers, finding the rules violate the Second Amendment. Now, if you guys have ever been shopping or you've been in the gun world for a while, you know how massive this is, because a lot of states have rules and restrictions on 18 to 20-year-olds buying handguns, but they can buy rifles. There's a myriad of different rules. Now the handgun portion has met resistance yet again. Again, this is really, really crucial as we go forward. But the important thing here is how the judge wrote this, because he's going back and pointing to Bruin. Bruin is the thing that is the thorn in the side of the gun controllers, and it will be going forward because, as I said in an earlier video, it is wrecking gun control nationally. They're still putting out new legislation, but Bruin is doing a mop-up job. Check this out. In a 65-page decision on Wednesday, U.S. Senior District Judge Robert Payne ruled in favor of 4 men who were over the age of 18 but not yet 21 and want to purchase handguns. One of the men, John Corey Frazier, attempted to buy a Glock 19X handgun from a federal firearm license dealer in May 2022, but was denied because of his age. There's the injury. That's what enables the lawsuits. They have to injure a party, and then they can be sued. That's how the system works. That's why the 10 states that have assault weapons bans on the books now, they are the injury that the national gun rights are going to use to wipe that off the face of the earth. Anyway, let's continue. In his opinion, Payne applied the framework laid out by the Supreme Court in its opinion last June for determining whether firearm rules pass constitutional muster. Under that test from the decision in New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin, the government must demonstrate that gun restrictions are consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearms regulation. That's why the Bruin decision was so big, because all the new modern progressive gun control does not comply with existing standards before modern gun control. That's the problem. That's where they run into. That's why they're chasing all of these ridiculous historical analogs. Let's continue. Quote, Under the analytical framework established in Bruin, the government simply has not met its burden to support the finding that restrictions on the purchasing of firearms by 18 to 20-year-olds is part of the nation's history and tradition, a key part of Bruin. Payne wrote, later concluding that because the statutes and regulations at the center of the dispute, quote, are not consistent with our nation's history and tradition, they therefore cannot stand. Bruin takes another one to the dustbin of history. We are on the momentum to striking down the unconstitutionality that the left is forcing on us. That's why they're getting louder and freaking out more, because they are losing. Let's continue. Payne noted that the other rights enshrined in the Constitution, and this is key, including the First, Fourth, Fifth, Eighth, and 14th Amendments, vest before the age of 21, and said no federal appellate court or the Supreme Court has squarely determined that the Second Amendment's rights vest at age 21. Dead right, because they vest at 18, adulthood. Quote, if the court were to exclude 18 to 21-year-olds from the Second Amendment's protection, it would impose limitations on the Second Amendment that do not exist with other constitutional guarantees, he said. What else do you need? There is an extreme disparity that you can say you can have all your other rights when you're 18 except your Second Amendment rights. This isn't even about guns. This is about rights. This is really, really simple to break this down, but the left is trying and twisting, and they are losing because of the Bruin decision. Got one more thing for you, and then we will go about the rest of our Thursday. Payne continued, quote, the Second Amendment's protections apply to 18 to 20-year-olds. By adopting the Second Amendment, the people constrain both the hands of Congress and the courts to infringe upon this right by denying ordinary law-abiding citizens of this age the full enjoyment of the right to keep and bear arms unless the restriction is supported by the nation's history. That is what Bruin tells us. And again, I say the Bruin backhand. This is incredibly important to understand, that the more of these decisions that come up, the more it's going to shoot up the ladder. And up at the top of the ladder, guess who's sitting there waiting? Clarence. That's who's sitting there waiting. And that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.